everyone, Shabba Gamer here, and welcome back to the WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, and this, which is the next episode of the Attitude Era's Friday Night Raw is War. So let's have a quick look at the card I've got set for you this evening. We're going to start things off with a tag team match between Evolution's Batista and Randy Orton taking on the Acolytes, JBL and Ron Simmons. The new European champion Mark Henry faces off against Sheamus. Going to have Kane versus Chris Jericho in an Extreme Rules match. The Rock's going to take on Triple H. And then our main event will be Shawn Michaels, the current WWF champion, taking on Hollywood Hulk Hogan. So without further ado, let's get straight into our first match. So as I said, our first match is going to be Evolution's Randy Orton and Batista taking on the Acolytes, JBL and Farooq. And here we're going to start off here with Batista and JBL in the ring. Now, if you've seen our last show on this Attitude Era playlist, which was our first big major pay-per-view, SummerSlam, you will have seen that the Acolytes actually had an opportunity at the Tag Team Championships facing off against Edge and Christian in a TLC match. Unfortunately for them, Edge and Christian came out victorious and defended them belts successfully. And now it's going to be a case of all these teams trying to get themselves back up to the forefront, trying to get another opportunity at them tag team belts. Randy Orton and Batista are a team we've not seen a lot of as of yet. They have been generally tied up with things. Randy Orton's been feuding for his Intercontinental Championship, and then last month we of course had Batista and Brock Lesnar feuding as well. So it's been a while since these two have been free to have actually a go at tag team wrestling, and who knows, a victory here and they could be next in line for that Tag Team Championship match against Edge and Christian. As I said, our last show was SummerSlam, so if you've not seen that, be sure to check that out. You can find that on the playlist. Or if you check out the description below, you will find a link to all the playlists I'm currently running in this universe mode. Definitely worth checking out. We had the Tag Team Championship match. We crowned our first ever European champion as well. Intercontinental champion, new crowned as well, and of course the WWF Championship was defended when Shawn Michaels took on CM Punk. Great shoulder block there by JBL. And there was actually one thing I've noticed today. I've been checking out some of the news for 2K16, and I have seen they've got a face import tool they're going to allow you to use now, where I think you have to log into their website, you upload a photograph, and then you can then download that photograph as a face onto your Create a Wrestler, which sounds amazing. That sounds like it'd be so much easier to create very good looking Create a Wrestlers, or as they call them now, Create a Superstar. Yeah, that looks absolutely great. It's supposed to be used, of course, for putting your own face onto the game, but there's no reason why, say if I wanted to upload a picture of AJ Styles' face, that I wouldn't be able to do that. There's no reason why not. Great sidewalk slam there by Batista, now mounting Farooq, and just a punches to the side of the head. I think on paper you'd have to fancy the team of Randy Orton and Batista to win this one. Both fantastic singles competitors, both future champions here in WWE. Of course, Randy Orton did hold the Intercontinental Championship belt until he lost it. I can't believe he lost it to R-Truth at the King of the Ring. Well, after the King of the Ring pay-per-view, sorry, that last pay-per-view. Pinned there by Farooq after the big spinebuster. Batista kicks out after two, though. Bradshaw had taken Orton off the apron, and now Farooq with that big clothesline. Batista down again. Orton's back up to his feet too. But Orton could not get back in the ring in time, and the Acolytes pick up another big victory here against Evolution. Big surprise here, and with a victory like that, a big victory like that as well. And maybe the Acolytes will be looking for another championship match in the near future. It's going to take more than one victory to earn that, though. But I'm sure next week, we'll have to give them another opportunity. Maybe we can have a number one contenders match next week. Let me know in the comments section who you'd like to see in that number one contenders match. Of course, we can only have one team against one team until 2K16 opens it all up, hopefully, but... And maybe we could even have a tag team match on Raw, who knows? And our second match this evening is going to be our newly crowned European champion taking on Sheamus. And here we go. As I said, Mark Henry, the first ever European champion in this universe mode, defeated Kane at SummerSlam. Of course, that match was all built up from the... We had a European Championship tournament. We had 16 guys. 16 guys? Yeah, 16 guys in that. And it came down to Mark Henry and Kane. Had the final match, of course, at SummerSlam. And Henry picked up the championship. It's a bit of a shame because I really did want to see a European guy become the first ever European champion on this universe mode. However, Mark Henry had different ideas on that one, of course. It was interesting for Henry because it's not very often I use Henry at all. So for Henry to pick up the championship, of course, now means that we're going to have to use him a bit more. So he really took the opportunity when it was given to him. Henry's one of these guys who's sort of on the roster, but only ever used on rare occasions. Go for an early pin here of a Sheamus, but only the 1 count. Of course, Mark Henry will be looking to build upon that victory against Kane last week, and obviously Sheamus will be hoping to pick up something of a victory here and maybe even put himself to the forefront for a European Championship shot in the future, as Sheamus building some momentum here. Power slam there on Mark Henry. Sheamus brings Henry back up to his feet. Get him up on his shoulders. And there's that white noise. Sheamus dominating Mark Henry here. Pulls him into the centre of the ring. Going to go for a pin. 1. Only a 1 count. Mark Henry kicks out. And there's the bro kick. Sheamus out of nowhere with a bro kick. Could this be a quick victory? And it is. It is as well. Sheamus picks up a quick victory here against the European champion, Mark Henry. Sheamus dominated this match. He's hitting the white noise. Only a 1 count from that white noise though, but then the bro kick straight away. Just knocking Mark Henry completely out. Straight in for the 3 count. And yeah, Sheamus has to be in line for a European Championship shot now. After that victory, there's no way we can ignore that at all. Not only was it one-sided, but it was incredibly quick as well. I'll have to keep tuned for this one, but I'm thinking European Championship match next week on Raw. And match number 3 this evening will be Kane versus Chris Jericho in an Extreme Rules match. And here we go. Continuation of this match, really. This is a feud that started last month out of nowhere. I think the game glitched and we got given this feud. Basically, I think there was a feud between... should have been Shawn Michaels and CM Punk. And on the very first Raw of last month, when the feud was supposed to start, we saw Kane take on CM Punk. Kane was victorious over Punk. Then after the match, Chris Jericho came out and attacked Kane with a steel pipe. No idea why at all, but either way, it's led us to this match here this evening. Of course, these two guys were in separate matches at SummerSlam, but the week before SummerSlam, again, they had an Extreme Rules match here on Raw. I don't think this is by any means finished. Of course, at SummerSlam, both these guys were unsuccessful in title matches. Kane faced off against Mark Henry for that European Championship, and Chris Jericho was part of the Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, it was Scott Hall who walked out victorious on that one. That match was between Scott Hall, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, and R-Truth, who was the Intercontinental Champion. However, I just felt I had to get that belt off him somehow, so I put him in the Fatal 4-Way ladder match, and it was successful. R-Truth was possibly the most in-form guy in the universe mode until I put him in that Fatal 4-Way. Of course, if you've not seen any other videos, R-Truth he defeated Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho and Edge to become the King of the Ring. Then on the next pay-per-view, he was gifted an Intercontinental Championship match because he won the King of the Ring. And he went on to beat Randy Orton to become the Intercontinental Champion. It was just... I just could not believe it. The guy with the lowest rating on the entire Attitude Era roster. And he just defeated all these top class talent. I couldn't believe it. But now, as I said, Scott Hall is now the Intercontinental Champion. So we'll be looking for someone to face Hall at the next pay-per-view. Again, if you guys have any suggestions who you'd like to see face Scott Hall at the next pay-per-view, let me know in the comment section below. Of course, it looks like Jericho and Kane are going to be tied up anyway in this rivalry. I was hoping that Randy Orton and Batista would be tied up, but after losing to the Acolytes earlier this evening, it looks like they're not going to be getting themselves a championship match anytime soon. Kane slides out the ring, and we're going to see Kane go for some weapons here, but Chris Jericho catches Kane with that baseball slide as he comes out of the ring. And Kane just throwing Jericho straight at the top of his head on the outside. And just pummeling him now. Yeah, so one of the conversations we were having on the Retro roster show yesterday was who you'd like to see on the Retro roster. So I'm going to put the question out again now. Who would you guys like to see involved in the game for the Attitude Era roster? We know we're going to have Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H, Booker T's already been announced as well. So those names are pretty sure. As Kane lining Jericho up and a spear through the ring barrier there. Kane taking Jericho out hard. Yeah, I would imagine we're going to get Chris Jericho as well. But there's other guys I'd love to get, like Goldberg, for example, and a few guys like that. I can't see Goldberg. Sting, we know we've got a Sting, but it's going to be the current day Sting rather than the Attitude Era Sting, which is not a problem. We can still use him in the Attitude Era. It's not a major problem what he looks like. I don't know if we're going to have two Kanes or not. I know we've got Corporate Kane, which I'm not overly happy about, but hopefully we can get a masked Kane as well for Attitude Era. Yeah, so you guys let me know in the comment section who you'd like to see. I'd like to see some more tag teams as well. I'd like to see the whole of DX. I'd like to see Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, X-Pac, of course Triple H. And what I'd also like to see in the Attitude Era, which they haven't done, is female legends as well. I'd like to have a set of female legends that we can use to have a women's division here in Attitude Era. If we could get Lita, Trish Stratus, Victoria, Ivory, Molly Holly. Is it Tori as well? I said Tori. Do you remember Tori, her X-Pac's girlfriend from DX? Yeah, all of those, just to give us a bit more of a roster here. I have said that I think I'm going to not have a Combat Zone Wrestling roster next year. I'm going to have an ECW part of my Attitude Era roster. And we're going to have a Hardcore Championship as part of the Attitude Era roster. So guys like Sandman, Raven, Rhino, Tommy Dreamer... all of that will be involved in this roster. Tajiri as well. So we'll be doing that. And then some of the more up-to-date Combat Zone Wrestling guys, we'll just move into some of the other rosters. If there are anyone, of course, at the moment I've got Dean Ambrose down there who probably stay in WWE. Got Sami Callihan and Drake Younger who can probably go into NXT. So like I said, there's places for all these guys to go. That's Kane there with a running DDT on the outside, and Jericho looks like he's been busted open. Kane now throws Jericho back into the ring. And yeah, Jericho's definitely busted open. See, he's leaving dots of blood on the ring. Kane has Jericho up, and there's his patented sidewalk slam. Straight into the pin. 1, 2, and 3. That's it. Kane victorious here over Chris Jericho. Finished it off with the sidewalk slam, but there was a lot of damage done in this match. There's a powerbomb outside for Jericho. We're not actually going to see the situation though where Kane speared Jericho through the barricade there. There's Kane throwing Jericho over his head, landing him back first on the apron. And the running DDT, that's what busted Jericho open. Kane brings him in the ring and hits him with a sidewalk slam. And that was enough to keep Jericho down for the 3 count. Kane just standing over the body of the fallen Chris Jericho here. I dare say this is not the last we've seen of these two in the ring. Here comes the flames. And match number 4 this evening will be The Rock taking on Triple H. And here we go. Both these guys, well, especially Triple H, has not had a lot to do in this universe mode as of yet. The Rock, of course, did have a little feud against Hollywood Hulk Hogan a couple of months back, but I think this could be a feud that could work quite well for us up to the next pay-per-view. We might try and make it a bit more interesting ourselves as well. Instead of just having Triple H versus The Rock every week, maybe we could do Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus The Rock and whoever Shawn Michaels is going to feud against. Not going to let that one go yet, who that's going to be. Of course, we could also do The Rock and Mankind versus Triple H and Randy Orton or Batista, one of his Evolution teammates. And that's one of the things I'd like to see improved in 2K16 is just making the feuds a little bit smarter, because at the moment you might get 1 week where the feud guys don't face each other in a singles match. They might have a singles match with somebody else, and the other person comes out to ringside to watch or something along them lines. So I think it'd be nice to make it a bit more interesting. And if there are 2 feuds going on at the same time, maybe team the 2 feuders up against each other, or maybe just a bit more of just singles matches. They should do one feud, one of these story creators where literally over the case of 2 or 3 weeks the same person interferes in the same person's match and cost them 3 or 4 matches in a row before they finally collide at the pay-per-view. I think that'd be quite good. Boot to the inside of the leg there of Triple H. And I'm just waiting to hear some more details. And I know we're going to get our roster reveal they've announced now is going to be every Monday. They're going to announce between sort of 15 and 20 names every Monday for the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks. And that should be the full roster by then. So game mode wise, we're not hearing a lot about the game modes yet. I know SummerSlam weekend is normally a weekend where we get to find out quite a bit. So hopefully this weekend we might find out some more details. I know Austin is scheduled to be at the SummerSlam weekend. Excuse me. Yeah, Austin's scheduled to be at the SummerSlam weekend, but he's not scheduled to actually be at the SummerSlam show. So to me that would mean he's doing something with the game. Maybe they're going to announce Austin's showcase. And even if they just tell us loosely what Austin's showcase is going to be, we might be able to start to guess some of the names that are going to be on the game. One of the things I also mentioned yesterday in the retro roster is I did notice recently WWE have finally started creating an Owen Hart DVD, which I know has never really been on the card because of the disagreements, shall we say, between WWE and Owen Hart's widow. But now they are creating the DVD. That opens it up and makes me wonder whether that also means we may see Owen Hart on the game. And of course, Owen Hart had a big part in Stone Cold Steve Austin's career, breaking his neck. Which I think if they are doing an Austin career showcase, that's an important thing that they could put in there. The point where Austin's neck broke and he was out for quite a long time. And it would be great to have Owen Hart on the game as well. Somebody that a lot of people, including myself, have always wanted on a game. I think I always get him created every single year, so there's no reason why. He's a big enough name, and we're going to have Bret Hart on there as well. And I'm sure I read somewhere that Natalia accidentally let slip that Jim the Anvil Neidhart's going to be on the game. Not sure if that's true or not, but it would be great. Spinebuster by Triple H into the pin. Only the 2 count. Triple H catching The Rock. Launches him up into the air. Boot to the stomach. And there's the pedigree. Triple H going for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Triple H defeats The Rock here. And The Rock never really got going in this match at all. It was all Triple H, really. This was The Rock reversing a DDT into a Russian leg sweep. See Triple H here catching The Rock and hitting him with that spine buster. That was only for a 2 count on the pin, though. And are we going to see the full pedigree? No, we're not. We're not going to see any of the pedigree at all. There's the 3 count from the launched up pedigree. And Triple H victorious here over The Rock. Big victory for Triple H. Like I said, not been used a lot in this universe mode. He's been put in this feud here this month against The Rock, so it'd be great. Great for him to come out of this feud on top and maybe even push himself towards that championship picture. The only problem is, of course, the current champion is his fellow member of Evolution, Shawn Michaels. And now it's time for our main event here this evening as Shawn Michaels takes on Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Oh, and there's Austin attacking Michaels on his way to the ring. Austin attacks the WWF champion Michaels on his way to the ring here. Michaels, of course, the current WWF champion. After defending that championship successfully against CM Punk at SummerSlam. And now Austin attack. Well, I don't know what's happened to Austin here at all. He's just he just seems to be completely glitching out on the outside, falling all over the place. But there's a very good chance he may have. Well, we're not going to say he's going to cost Shawn Michaels this match, but he's definitely helped Hogan get a great early advantage. Now can we see if Hogan can take advantage of that advantage? That's a strange sentence. Atomic drop there by Shawn Michaels, now twisting the arm of Hogan and into the crucifix bomb. And Michaels seems to be back into it now. It almost seems as though that attack by Austin has really spurred him on, rather than affecting him. But why has Austin here attacked Shawn Michaels? Is Austin trying to make some sort of a point? Is he trying to get himself involved in the championship picture? Of course, we did see him win a fatal 4-way match at SummerSlam, which has definitely put him at the forefront for the title. However, nothing's been set in stone yet, but I'm sure after attacking Shawn Michaels, Michaels is going to want to face him. For the championship or not, I think Michaels will definitely want to be facing Austin in the very near future. Hogan there with a drop toe hold. And yeah, I do have a feeling that after seeing some of the guys that have already been released for 2K16, I've got a feeling that we're going to have everybody who's on this roster, plus a few extras. Hogan yesterday said that he was still in 2K16, but I'm sure that 2K themselves have said that he's not going to be in there, so I'm not 100% sure what's happening there. I would probably listen to 2K on that one. If they've said that he's not going to be in the game, they're the people that are making the game. They'll be able to tell you exactly if he is or isn't. The figure 4 leg lock here by Shawn Michaels, harnessing the submission skills of one Ric Flair. Michaels catching Hogan now with that belly-to-belly suplex. Now rolling Hogan over. Now going for another submission in the shape of a camel clutch, but Hogan's foot was under the rope. Shawn Michaels now gets Hogan up. Lets him think about it and drops him in that pile driver. But Hogan's back up. Michaels now with a front chancery on Hogan. And there's the snapmare now, the elbow to the back of the neck. Oh. A bit of a cough in this episode. Running forearm there by Michaels. Flips back up to his feet. Catches Hogan with that quick roll-up. 1. Only a 1 count. And as I say, this early attack from Austin doesn't seem to have affected Michaels too much. Michaels seems to be in control of this match. We know Hogan's just come off a big feud with the Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam as well. Of course, as I've already mentioned, you can check out the playlist in the description below, and you will find all the brands that I'm currently running. We've got WWE, we've got Global Force Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Retro Roster, Attitude Era, and Combat Zone Wrestling. But be sure to check out SummerSlam if you get a chance. If you don't watch the whole thing, just flick through it and just see what happens. Definitely worth a look. Shawn Michaels with a snap suplex here on Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Brings him back up to his feet. And there's a backbreaker as well. Michaels brings Hogan up. Is he going to go for another power driver? He does. Hits Hogan with another power driver. And surely Hogan can't take much more of this. This has been a brutal beating for him. Oh, there he is. Reversing the DDT into the Russian leg sweep. Maybe Hogan is not as down and out as we thought he was. Shoulder block by Hogan. Shawn Michaels went for the Inseguri. Hogan avoids it and catches Michaels with the Bulldog. Shawn Michaels now pull Hogan. Throws him against that rope, but Hogan just launching Michaels over the top rope. Which always gets me excited and ready, waiting for for Royal Rumble, sorry. Oh, and then Shawn Michaels hits the Sweet Chin Music on the outside, which is a terrible move. Not the Sweet Chin Music, I like Sweet Chin Music, but to hit your finishing maneuver on the outside was a bad idea there by Shawn Michaels. Couldn't follow up with a pinfall, and now Hogan is back up to his feet, and Shawn Michaels' poor decision-making could cost him this match here. Elbow to the back of the neck, now twisting the arm of Hogan. Follows it up, and there's a knee to the inside of the arm as well, and there's an elbow drop. Michaels brings Hogan back up to his feet, but Hogan fighting back, catches Michaels in the headlock. Drop toe hold as well. Michaels with the chops Hogan though. Went for the big overhand punch and Michaels avoids it. Hogan now with a backdrop. Hogan with a snapmare. Went for the running elbow, but Michaels manages to avoid it somehow. Michaels again went for the Inseguri, and again Hogan managed to avoid it. Michaels locked in a sleeper hold now. We've seen him go for submissions quite a few times in this match, and could this be the one that finally knocks Hogan off? No, it's not. Hogan reverses, almost like a stunner. Hogan now takes Michaels up onto the top. What's Hogan got planned here? Hogan's going right the way to the top. Superplex. Hogan brings Michaels back up to his feet. Hits the big boot. Could this be all? 1, 2. No. Michaels, the current champion, kicks out. Hogan twisting the arm of Michaels now. Draping it across the shoulder, bringing it down hard. But Michaels out of nowhere. Second Sweet Chin Music. Straight for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Just when we thought Hogan was coming back into this one. HBK, Shawn Michaels with that Sweet Chin Music out of nowhere. That's the Sweet Chin Music outside the ring, that was. Of course, the Sweet Chin Music's not the highlight. Of course, the hip toss afterwards is. Oh, God, this game. There was a big boot. We thought Hogan had won the match. But as you see here, only for a 2 count. And then Michaels just pushes Hogan away to create a little bit of space and catches him with that Sweet Chin Music. And it's game, set, match. So even after Stone Cold Steve Austin attacks Shawn Michaels during his entrance, Michaels still manages to come out victorious here against Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Well, anyway, guys, that is the end of this episode here of the Attitude Era's Raw is War. Hope you all enjoyed it. We've had a couple of surprise wins here. As I said, we're looking to maybe have Sheamus versus Mark Henry next week for the European Championship. And, of course, we're going to see how it develops here between Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, if you could like this video, that would be absolutely fantastic. It really does help me. And if you're not already, subscribing really helps as well. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.